You're at the dealership. It's a Saturday afternoon. You came in with a very specific, responsible plan. You wanted to look at slightly used, reliable cars. Something practical, in the $18,000 range. But the salesman is a professional. He isn't showing you the used lot. He is walking you around the brand new model. It has heated leather seats, a panoramic sunroof, a massive backup camera, and wireless Apple CarPlay. The full luxury package. The MSRP sticker on the window says $42,000. You're shaking your head. You tell him, no, that's way out of my budget. But he's not listening to your budget. He's already pulling out his tablet and opening the financing calculator. He looks at you and asks the most dangerous question in modern finance. What monthly payment works for you? You hesitate. You say, maybe $400. He types on the screen. He shakes his head slightly, looks at you with a sympathetic smile, and says, well, with your trade-in and your good credit score, I can get you into this brand new car for $680 a month. We'll just put you on an 84-month loan at 6.9%. $680. That is significantly more than you wanted to spend, but in your head you justify it. It's not $800. It feels doable, and the car is sitting right there, gleaming under the showroom lights, clean, new, and ready to drive off the lot. You're exhausted from your old car constantly breaking down. You're tired of the sudden, unexpected repair bills. So, you sign the paperwork. You drive home in the new car, feeling a rush of success. But that night, sitting alone in your kitchen, you pull up the actual loan details. 84 months. That is 7 full years. Over those 7 years, you were going to pay $57,120 for a car that was priced at $42,000. That is over $15,000 in pure interest going straight to the bank. And in that quiet kitchen, there is this sinking moment where you realize you just committed to bleeding $680 every single month for the next 7 years for a piece of metal that will be worth maybe $18,000 by the time you are finally done paying for it. My name's Peter. If you have ever felt like your car payments are eating your income, but everyone around you somehow has nicer cars than you, and if you want to understand why vehicle debt is quietly, systematically bankrupting the middle class, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because the average car payment in America is now over $700 a month, with new cars pushing past $800. And that is not just expensive, it is mathematically ruining people.
But before we look at the devastating macro math of that $680, you need to understand exactly how the salesman got you to that number. They didn't do it by lowering the price of the car. They did it using a psychological weapon called the 4 square method. If you have ever bought a car at a dealership in America, you have seen this piece of paper. The salesman draws a cross, dividing the paper into 4 boxes. The total price of the car, your down payment, the value of your trade-in, and your monthly payment. This piece of paper is specifically designed to confuse you. If you negotiate hard on the total price of the car, they will just secretly lower the value of your trade-in. If you refuse to put more cash down, they will simply extend the loan from 60 months to 84 months to magically hit your target monthly payment. And once they have you focused entirely on that one single box, the monthly payment, they send you to the F&I office, finance and insurance. This is where the real wealth extraction happens. They sit you down and they start adding the invisible taxes. Extended warranties for $3,000, gap insurance for $900, dealership fees and paint protection for $1,500. Because you are only looking at the monthly payment, they just roll all these massive costs into the 84-month loan. It's only an extra $18 a month, they tell you. This is exactly how a $42,000 car quietly becomes a $57,000 debt sentence before you even get the keys.
So let's look at what that $680 monthly car payment actually costs you in the context of a real, normal human life. Let's assume you are making a solid middle-class salary, $66,000 a year. After taxes, you are bringing home about $4,100 a month. That $680 car payment alone is 16.5% of your total take-home income, just for the payment. Add in insurance, $185 a month for full coverage on a financed new car, Gas, $220. Maintenance and repairs over the course of ownership average about $90 a month. You are at $1,175 in total monthly costs for transportation. That is 28.6% of your take-home income going to your car. Over a quarter of everything you earn, over a quarter of the hours you work every month, just to have a vehicle. And here is what that looks like over the life of the loan. 7 years, $680 a month. That is $57,120 paid for a car that was $42,000 new. By year 7, it's worth maybe $18,000. You paid $57,120 for an asset worth $18,000. You are down $39,120 just on the car.
But that $39,000 loss is not the real cost. The real cost of financing a new vehicle is something called opportunity cost. Every dollar you send to an auto lender is a dollar that cannot be invested in your own future. What if you had refused to play the dealership's game? What if you had bought a reliable $12,000 used car in cash, and instead you took that $680 difference every month and invested it in a standard S&P 500 index fund, returning a historical average of 7%? Let's look at what happens to that $680 a month. After 7 years, you have $70,600. After 15 years, you have $187,000. After 25 years, you have $437,000. You chose the new car. You got an asset worth $18,000 after 7 years. You could have had $70,600 in investments. The true cost of that car isn't $57,120. The true cost is $70,600 in foregone wealth, and nobody talks about this. Nobody at the dealership mentions that the monthly payment you're agreeing to is literally stealing your financial future 1 month at a time for 7 years.
Now let's add in what else you're paying each month. Rent, $1,600. Student loans, $340. Health insurance, $155. Groceries, $380. Utilities and phone, $190. That is $2,665 before the car. Add the $680 car payment, you're at $3,345 in fixed expenses. You take home $4,100. You've got $755 left for the entire month. Except wait, you've still got to pay for gas and car insurance, another $405. Now you have exactly $350 left for the entire month. For clothes, for a medical emergency, for a birthday gift, or for a single dinner out. You're lying in bed. It's Tuesday night. You're thinking about the car payment again. It's due in 5 days. You've got $920 in your checking account. After the car payment, you'll have $240, and you still need gas, groceries, and there's that credit card minimum payment. You're running scenarios. Maybe skip the savings this month. Maybe put groceries on the credit card. Maybe pick up an extra shift. In that tightness in your chest, it's because you're realizing the car payment is dictating your entire financial life. It's not that you can't afford it technically. It's that affording it requires constant juggling, stress, and the sacrifice of every other financial goal. So the overflow goes on credit cards. And 7 years later, you've got a used car worth $18,000 and $27,000 in credit card debt. The car isn't making your life better. It's making your life harder. Most people think the problem is that cars are expensive, or that they should have negotiated better, or that they should make more money. That's not it. The problem is that the car financing industry has engineered a system that makes expensive vehicles feel affordable by stretching payments across absurd timelines and manipulating the psychology of monthly payment thinking. Here's what I mean. In 1970, the average car loan was 36 months, 3 years. You financed a car, you paid it off in 3 years, you were done. The car was affordable relative to income, and the loan was short enough that you weren't underwater for long. By 2000, the average loan term was 52 months,
just over 4 years. Today, the average new car loan is 68 months, almost 6 years. And increasingly, dealerships are pushing 72, 84, even 96-month loans. 8 years to pay off a car. And here's why that's devastating. Cars depreciate fast. A new car loses about 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. After 1 year, it's lost 30%. After 3 years, about 50%. So when you finance for 84 months, you're underwater, owing more than the car is worth for about 5 years. You're trapped. You can't trade it in without bringing cash to cover the negative equity. You can't sell it without taking a massive loss. You're locked into the payment for the full term. We can get you to $680 a month. That sentence is designed. It shifts your thinking from, can I afford a $42,000 car? To, can I afford $680 a month? You focus on the monthly number and ignore the total cost. This is called payment focus bias, and it is one of the most powerful manipulation tactics in consumer financing.
There's another layer to this that makes it particularly insidious. It's called the automotive status treadmill, and it works like this. You buy the car. For the first few months, you feel good. It's new, it's clean, it's nicer than what you had. You feel successful when you're driving it. Then you adapt. The new car becomes your normal car. The nice features become expected. The excitement fades. And then you start noticing other people's newer cars. Your coworker gets a Tesla. Your friend gets the latest truck. Suddenly, your car, which felt new 6 months ago, feels ordinary. And you start thinking about upgrading. Except you're 2 years into an 84-month loan. You still owe $37,000. The car is worth $28,000. You are $9,000 underwater. To trade it in, you'd need to roll that negative equity into the next loan. So now, you're looking at a $48,000 truck. But with $9,000 in negative equity, your loan is $57,000. Your payment goes from $680 to $820. Same trap, bigger numbers, longer term. This is the treadmill. You're constantly chasing the feeling of having a nice car, but you're always underwater, always stretching payments, always in debt. Let's add it up. If you start at 25 and upgrade your car every 6 years by rolling over loans, by the time you are 49, you will have paid $138,000 in car payments in trade-in value. At 49, you own a car worth $21,000. Net cost $117,000 over 24 years, just to always have a car that's worth about $20,000. But if instead of car payments, you had bought reliable used cars for $8,000 cash every 8 years and invested the $450 a month difference at 7% returns, you would have $273,000. The difference is $252,000 in lifetime wealth. That is what the car payment treadmill actually costs.
So here's how people who actually build wealth think about cars differently. And this is the part that's hard to accept because it requires rejecting the entire cultural narrative around vehicles. They don't think about what car they can afford based on a monthly payment. They think about what car they need to get from point A to point B reliably, and what's the cheapest way to have that. So they buy used. Not 3 years old, 5, 6, 7 years old. A $42,000 car new is a $16,000 car at 6 years old. Same basic function, same transportation, 62% less money. And they buy cash. If they finance at all, it's 36 months maximum, because they understand that any loan longer than 3 years means you're underwater, and being underwater is expensive and constraining. But here's the real shift. They see cars as tools, not as status symbols. The car their coworker drives, the car their neighbor drives, that doesn't influence their decision. They are optimizing for a low total cost of ownership, not for looking successful. Now let me be very clear about something. The pressure to have a nice car is real. In some social circles, your car matters for perception. But for most people, that pressure is imagined or internalized. Most people drive newer, nicer cars than they need because they feel like they're supposed to, not because it's actually required for their life. And the cost of giving into that pressure is massive. It's $117,000 over 24 years. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars in foregone investment wealth. It's decades of financial stress. The entire system, 84-month loans, payment-focused selling, status-driven buying, is designed to trap middle-class people in perpetual debt while extracting maximum wealth from them over their lifetimes. The math is undefeated. Every dollar you pay toward a depreciating asset is a dollar that could have been growing into actual wealth. You can have the nice car now and be broke later, or you can have the modest car now and be financially secure later. Most people choose the nice car. The ones who build wealth choose security. If this video changed how you look at the car in your driveway, hit the subscribe button. We are going to keep tearing down the illusions keeping society broke. Let me know in the comments how much your car payment is right now, and I'll see you in the next video.